Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Classics for the Family, where we cover things based off of classical literature that are acceptable for family viewing. Now, this week it's The Jungle Book. Both of them. Now, the reason why I cover both of them because two of the adaptations I have there do not stick to just the Mowgli stories from the first one, and nor does one of the things I have there just stick to the Mowgli stories. Damn it! It's pronounced Mowgli. It's supposed to rhyme with cow. What am I doing? Oh, shut up, Alex. I'm not talking to you. Well, anyway, I have no graphic novel adaptation. So I'll just go ahead to move to the movies. So I'd like to just state that these stories are quite dark. They're made for children, but they're dark. So just to be warned. Now we've got 3 movies here. None of them being the Disney movie because Walt Disney just told the writers to not read the book. That movie is garbage anyway. Now, first, we have the 1942 film. Live action, stars Indian actor Sabu. In fact, this year will be the first time in 74 years that Mowgli has been played by an Indian actor. It's a wonderful movie, very good for a first adaptation. However, I must state that the Jungle Books are a collection of short stories. Obviously, there's the Mowgli stories and then there's the non-Mowgli stories. This is a combination of the Mowgli stories. And it actually has a very good framing device with an old man telling a story in what I presume is 1942 India. And it's not till the end of the movie that we learn who the old man is. Wait. No, wait, I'd be giving away a spoiler if I were to say that. If I were to ask this, so I'll stay away from that. Not all of the animals talk in this. It's only Kaa and the white cobra, and that's the reason. This was made in 1942. It's made during World War II. It would have been too expensive. And it actually works better with Kaa and the White Cobra because they're animatronics. Well, there is one point where Kaa is played by an actual snake. But that's in the prologue with the storyteller stating that he's the same one he's the same snake who tempted Eve, but considering who the storyteller turns out to be, I'd take that with the proverbial grain of salt, if not the entire shaker. Now, this is a wonderful movie, has some excellent sets. A very realistic looking tiger corpse. Because obviously everyone knows that Shere Khan dies, but they can't really use an actual tiger for the part where Mowgli fights. Wait a minute, what am I saying? Shere Khan? It's not pronounced Shere Khan, it's pronounced Scare Khan. Damn it, Disney! anyway, you can't have Sabu actually fight the tiger who plays Shere Khan because, well, injury could really happen. Tamed or not, accidents can happen. What if the tiger were to have actually clawed at him? So basically, they use a very realistic looking dummy for 1940 standards. And for some reason, switch out the Mowgli going with a herd of buffalo to trample Shere Khan. Mowgli going with a herd of buffalo to trample Shere Khan to death. To him and Kaa fighting Shere Khan in a river. Actually, that would probably be easier. Kaa's animatronic, and they were using, as I said, a dummy for the scene in the water. And really all Sabu would have to do is just stab the dummy, so yeah, it's understandable. Now, Baloo doesn't have that big a part. He only appears once. Bagheera has sort of a secondary role, as does Grey Brother, one of Mowgli's adoptive brothers. And actually, as long as we're getting on the subject of the wolves, Akela and Fallerwolf are combined into one character. For those of you familiar with the Disney movie, Rama and Fallerwolf are not one and the same. In fact, Rama is a buffalo. He's a bull. Yes, I'm not making this up. Oh jeez, what time is it? No wait. Oh, 7 minutes. I spent a bit longer than I should have on that one. Now, if you want something better, and I do saying this, if you want all of the Mowgli stories in one adaptation, and a faithful one, this is what you want. Made in 1967 in Russia, this animated film is 1,000 times more faithful than that Disney garbage ever will be. It's a wonderful piece of work. I love the animation. Each character looks excellent. It's dark, it's bloody in some parts, and the backgrounds are just so vibrant. And for the English cast, we got Charlton Heston himself as the narrator, and due to the fact that in Russia Bagheera is female, we've got Dana Delaney as Bagheera, and Sam Elliott as Kaa. The rest of the actors are Canadian, which I'm happy for, because being Canadian, I like to hear and see Canadian actors, and it's no better shown than with the fact that Akela is voiced by David Kaye. In other words, Megatron from Beast Wars. That is awesome. But you're probably wondering, Brian, why that? Is there anything else you have to say about it? Well, there's a lot of things that the 1942 film does not have. It doesn't have the red dogs. It doesn't have the spring running. It doesn't have the drought. And the spring running is a very important one where Mowgli eventually returns to the world of man. And this time it's not because his half brother or formed brother, whichever way you want to look at it, is now here in the world. But because he realizes that's where he belongs. To be with his mother and whatever his brother is, be it full or half. In that movie, it takes from the very first Mowgli story, which, alas, is not included in either of these books. It's called Into the Rock, where Mowgli is married and has a son. Thus, it is Mowgli's love for a human girl that brings him back. It's not entirely romance, but they've had a few tries. Once when Mowgli goes to get fire, and the second time during the spring running, and Mowgli runs away from her, realizing that as he had passed two farmers and their buffalo, he had seen his future. He was in love. And that meant having to leave his friends. Now, in the 1970s, famed Looney Tunes animator Chuck Jones made 3 Jungle Book-based specials, each a half hour. Mowgli's Brothers, Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, and The White Seal. They are exceptional, with a lot of the dialogue lifted straight from the stories. Now, understandable, they had to make Shere Khan a white tiger because they probably wouldn't have had a lame tiger to reference for the animation, so actually that's pretty much understandable why Shere Khan's going to be half blind in the new movies. Now, these are really good. I mean, sure, Tabaki the Jackal is green and looks kind of like Wile E. Coyote, but that's beside the point. I mean, for Mowgli's Brothers, it takes the audiobook approach for the most part. As does The White Seal, with Rikki-Tikki-Tavi being the only one with a full cast. Now, Mowgli, yeah, I shouldn't really blame Disney. That mistake goes back to the 1942 film, so who do I blame for this? Mowgli's Brothers is for the most part all of the male roles, narrator included, are done by Rowdy McDowell, who fans know from Planet of the Apes, the original series, and he also does all of the male roles, narrator included, in The White Seal, with June Foray providing the voice of Raksha in Mowgli's Brothers and Kotick's mother in The White Seal. Now, I'm not going to go on a full tirade of the cast of Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, but the narrator is none other than the director of Citizen Kane himself, Orson Welles. And he also voices Neg the Cobra. I highly recommend these specials. In fact, I highly recommend all that I've shown to you today. They are the high point. They are the highest. The animated adaptations are splendid works of beauty. And the 1942 film is an excellent adventure movie. I'm Brian Croydragon, and I'll see you next week with whatever I have in mind.